have the likes of someone like General Motors, and given that the auto space, especially on the electric vehicle side, has been quite interesting this past year, a lot of these sort of legacy companies are starting to play catch up and ultimately have a little bit of some uprunning into the EV space. We've seen that with Ford, and General Motors has had some volatility, although it's been quite a few months since they were technically in play, something that we traded maybe multiple days at a time. But the likes of their earnings may lead into a little bit of discussion during the conference call. And ultimately, if we see some more sort of positive outlook towards the EV space, this could be one that may start to once again break out or give us an opportunity. Um, Shifting into Thursday, we have Duke Energy, AIG, pretty light throughout the rest of the week in the S&P. And then one of the odd reporting names in terms of when they report is actually Berkshire. This is going to be the B class series of their stock. But what makes this one more interesting is it is a large component of the financial sector, especially the XLF, which is something that we do monitor for sort of financial sentiment. And if you pull up sort of the breakdown, you can see that Berkshire is actually the top holding, albeit JP Morgan is not too far behind it. So we've seen a lot of the banks report at this time. Berkshire also has sort of nuance to its company that it's not just necessarily a bank. It has a lot of other holdings and ways to generate revenue, insurance, and other trading aspects through its company. So it is sort of that conglomerate name, and therefore something to watch in terms of the financial sector and how it affects this ETF. So relatively light week in the S&P 100, but as we shift into potentially other indexes, we see that the list is still quite heavy. We have some names like Take-Two Interactives, TTWO. That's going to be aftermarket today. We also have the likes of other gaming / entertainment companies, albeit some have been hit with a little bit of controversial and investigative news in the likes of Activision Blizzard being investigated for multiple malfeasance and poor practice in regards to its company behavior and sort of the culture of the company. As we shift into Wednesday, similar names are showing up here. KHC is spread between NASDAQ and S&P 100, but we're also getting some other, at least in the sense of day trading names. Some of these are actually almost only in play unless there is earnings or some sort of news event. Something like Fox, Melly is a decent one, along with some sort of technological names like Western Digital and Microchip, which was actually aftermarket on Tuesday. So we may see a little bit more information coming from other semiconductor and or just companies that are heavily dependent on the semiconductor space. That has been a pretty interesting industry to see come back alive. We've seen the likes of NVIDIA have huge momentum and upside revolving around its stock split. And then we saw the likes of AMD last week, which not only reported earnings, but had a very positive effect on its momentum move with some of the option information that we delved into. And then finally, on Thursday, the likes of Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, Expedia Group, Illumina Incorporated, and then Monster Beverage Corporation. Once again, not names that we necessarily trade day in and day out, but oftentimes these can be sort of one-off plays due to the fact that they have earnings and depending on the reaction that they see. So as always, as you're going into this week, be cognizant of what names are coming into the earnings cycle. Are they going to affect any sort of sentiment-based position that you may be holding as a swing or just as some sort of core position that you're trying to manage. And then obviously, as these earnings are coming out or beforehand, if you're looking to play them pre-earnings, be looking at things like their option series. If you want to start putting on some sort of weekly spread to take advantage of the volatility, along with post earnings, trying to play sort of the implied volatility crush or potentially some sort of outlier events move like we saw with the likes of AMD and Amazon last week. The rest of the stocks last week, surprisingly, did not have too much in the way of a large expected move sort of breakout. And what that led to was that the NASDAQ didn't really have a ton of volatility last week. We did see one sort of sharp sell-off day in the NASDAQ, and that was before we saw the likes of Apple and Microsoft earnings. But as far as an expected move for the week, what the marketplace was trying to determine the risk factors were, and because the market was knowledgeable of all the other earnings events in the NASDAQ, it was relatively surprising to see a pretty calm week. We really didn't have a large expected move in either direction. Now, obviously, that's not true company to company. For those who maybe were not present last week or just didn't take the opportunity to look across some of the earnings, we did have the names like Amazon not only coming with earnings, but also outlook that wasn't necessarily aligned to sort of the growth story of this name. What this can do in terms of sentiment is sort of shift the perception of our technical structure that we currently have marked in a stock like Amazon. And one way to see that is kind of just pulling it back to the weekly. And actually, I'll pull up a 3-year weekly. So we often look at a lot of marketplaces that have these massive technical trading ranges that have been in place for quite a while. IWM is our most sort of common one that we look at quite often. It's very evident that IWM is still within its trading range and ultimately is sort of drawn to that midpoint or that high volume area in that marketplace. With this event in Amazon, we may be seeing this formation not only continue to hold, but also we need to sort of anticipate the potential downside that could occur, which is common to trading ranges. And that's based on some very simple rules. Oftentimes, when you have these large ranges, these very clear support and resistance zones in a marketplace, when the market is trying to break out of the range, there's only a few potential events that could occur. We either break out, and oftentimes we want to see things like high volume, high conviction, and ultimately as far of a push away from that range as possible in order for bulls or bears, in the case of a breakdown, to basically set up the next leg of that move. And that can often be seen in any previous breakout that we've had back in time. The issue occurs whenever we have these potential breakouts or breakdowns and they fail to hold. And usually a failure oftentimes is one of sort of, I would say, opinion or bias. You know, what dictates a true failure of a breakout or a breakdown? How far of the pullback do you have to have in order for that to truly be called a failure? Oftentimes with a trading range, what I like to look for is, do we have to pull all the way back to the VPOC? And when it comes to Amazon, if we pull up a simple volume profile, we can see that the earnings event, while volatile, has not quite yet gotten back to VPOC. If we're looking at this entire trading range, we want to, at least at the moment, interpret VPOC a little bit lower down to sort of this 3170 to 3200 area, this sort of high shelf of volume. And what can this mean for a short term? Well, obviously, Amazon has lost a bit of its momentum to the upside. There may be some event that leads Amazon to sort of try and fill the gap, but it's a pretty large gap to fill. It's also based after earnings, which means it sort of has to pick up the pieces in terms of a trading opportunity. We also are noting that at least within the trend line or within the trading range, Amazon is right at its trend line support. So the marketplace did not necessarily sell off with the likes of Amazon's poor earnings reaction. We saw some volatility, but overall the market held pretty well. However, do we foresee this trading range continuing to try and break out? And what are some warning signs to show us that maybe that breakout is starting to fail? Even though we got this deep of a pullback, there's still some potential here for bulls to basically support the price. We have the trend line, which is sort of just a general guide. And oftentimes that can be something that holds for weeks, if not months at a time. We've seen that in trending markets. We've seen high reactions off of these price levels. And even though they're a bit suspect when we're testing them, they're not going to be perfect price, support, resistance, price levels. Oftentimes they're guides. If Amazon cannot hold this trend, then based on the trading range and based on other trading ranges we've interpreted previously, we have the potential here for Amazon to come and test its VPOC. And what this means is that if the marketplace did not break down heavily based on just this earnings gap down, will it start to break down if Amazon goes to test its VPOC? Can the marketplace handle another 100 to 150 point downside in a stock that holds such a heavy market cap? And specifically, will Amazon start to have some of that downside breadth and sort of correlation in other names, other big market cap names that may be seeing this sort of, shift in sentiment? These are some things we can kind of think about this week due to the fact that we have a possible false breakout. If we just look at that trading range, we interpret the price action that occurred prior to earnings. And if you think about how bulls oftentimes are looking at these reactions, seeing the potential for the breakout and then becoming trapped into earnings. This can lead to that additional downside that may be needed in order to test these lower price levels. Obviously, this is speculation at the time. It's something for us to watch. But in terms of earnings, in terms of the information that we have in front of us, this is the one name that has some of the largest risk in terms of that downside sort of, I would say, correction in its price. So something to keep in mind. We haven't seen the marketplace as a whole, really severely get hit by this move. But is there more to come? And what are some targets if this move does start to break down? So that's also going to be something to keep in mind with likes of Apple and Microsoft. Once again, trend line and trend is your friend, but we're seeing price start to get into those sort of, I would say, reactionary zones where you want to see the marketplace pick itself back up. We haven't seen Apple necessarily break out strongly through its earnings, and we have a very clear price level of 150 to keep an eye on. Same idea with Microsoft. Very, to some degree, extended, may simply be in need of a deeper pullback. And what will the market do if this pullback does occur? What are some of the side effects in a tech correction, and how can we prepare for it as traders? All right, switching gears. Not everything necessarily has that tone of potentially needing a bit of a rest. We do see some activity in the likes of Tesla. Tesla is going to be one of those names that's affecting our consumer discretionary ETF and sector as a whole. And we've seen a little bit of pickup into the last two trading sessions last week. Tesla reported earnings. The reaction was relatively muted. Uh, Tesla actually tested its upside expected move on earnings, never actually got to its low end expected move, which at the moment can be seen as slightly bullish. And now we're seeing this once again, testing of a range, very clear support and resistance zones inside of the short-term price action of Tesla. Can we see that breakout? Is volume confirming the breakout? And ultimately, will this breakout hold? These are some ways for us to maybe prepare for markets looking into other areas. And once again, why I'm bringing up electric vehicles or the EV space. If Tesla really starts to move, we may see stocks like NIO have that sort of sentiment momentum. NIO also picking up into Friday's session with a nice trending day. And then as things in some of the China related companies maybe start to become a little bit less fearful, that can sort of set the stage for a breakout or some sort of at least short-term short covering rally to get these stocks moving off of a lot of uncertainty. Lee probably one of the larger ranges overall, and also putting in that, once again, that potential for breakout. So some things to keep in mind, some things to watch. And as we look back into Tesla, always be keeping the larger structure in mind because it can also dictate the sentiment move. If we look at sort of a weekly perspective, draw a very rough sort of downtrend line, at least with enough reactions to confirm the viability of this slope, we can see that Tesla not only is trying to get out of a short-term trading range, it may also be looking to break out of a downtrending sloping, resistance zone in the marketplace. Moving averages are all underneath. These are some things to kind of watch and see if the momentum is starting to pick up, because if everything is in alignment, obviously every trader sort of has their own criteria that can sort of fuel the move to the upside as long as it holds. So some things to watch in our big market cap names. We're also keeping watch on financials. Financials so far have been a bit muted in terms of price due to some of the volatility in interest rates. TNX is still sloping down. We have some clear price levels that it has reacted off of in the past, approximately 1.26, and then this 1.18. These are previous sort of swing highs and swing lows. The market has already sort of tested and reacted quite strongly off of these, which lets us know that they're still being somewhat respected during the volatile sell-off in interest rates. That also leads to TLT, which is still in a trend and ultimately holding sort of the trending daily moving average of the 20 period. Definitely seeing a lot of pressure inside of the bond market, and that has somewhat compressed the financial performance overall. Short term, if any of this breaks down or breaks out, we want to see what is the correlated reaction. Is tech going to continue higher with another breakout of bonds? This has been the theme so far. Will bonds break down in the short term, leading to financials being able to finally clear, once again, a trading range? I want to kind of keep that theme moving into this week. We have a lot of ranges that have formed in this marketplace, some larger than others, and ultimately everything is sort of on those tipping edges in terms of certain breakouts and breakdowns, trying to see if they're going to occur or will they fail. And the event of a failure, the most likely scenario is to come back to the low end of the trading range. So financials we've looked at, and then honestly, keeping healthcare in mind. Healthcare is one of those odd sectors where if you look at the SPY breakdown, you'll note that healthcare comprises about 13.5% of the overall market. And with healthcare trending not only strongly, but having good continuation and relatively good volume on the swing highs, so far, healthcare has been one of the supporting sectors of the marketplace. We've seen tech hold and ultimately break out. We've also seen healthcare do the exact same thing. So, in terms of good momentum and trend, healthcare has been a sector to watch. But in the larger sort of macroeconomic and often sector based analysis of the marketplace, healthcare is one of those last sectors that often rallies quite strongly as we see topping action in markets. Often this is due to the fact of economic recovery. Healthcare is a bit more of a risk off or at least a defensive type of sector. It's not necessarily super risk on like technology. Um, but in the short term, due to the fact that the weighting of healthcare is so high, along with technology not seeing really any weakness as of yet outside of Amazon, which is not technology, of course, but those big market cap names not seeing any weakness, marketplace has been pretty strong. It's been healthy. The trend has continued. We've seen a lot of short-term pullbacks get bought up, and ultimately the volume's a little suspect. We've seen some breadth issues, but marketplace is held. So as always, we're just kind of seeing if things are shifting. As we get into a new month, the likelihood of a shift in the marketplace is a little bit higher. Oftentimes, allocations change based on seasonality of the marketplace. And if you look at some historical data, you'll note that August and September are not necessarily high performing months of the S&P. Obviously, every year is different. Every year sort of has its own skew and bias, but in terms of just sheer probabilities based on previous data, August and September are not the months to be aggressive. So be thinking about that in terms of your trading plan. If you've been doing well and focusing on the right stocks, the right sectors, the ones that are moving in the direction of the marketplace, then it may be time to consider either pulling back the reins or just not being as aggressive in some of your entry points. This market may just simply need to consolidate, form a trading range potentially, and ultimately digest some of the gains that we've had, especially with the lack of information. We're not necessarily going into more heavy earnings, and a lot of those names are behind us at this point. So something to keep in mind, something to always watch. And what we're looking for are risk factors that may be showing that potential. So far, the dollar has been breaking down from this sort of elevated position. This has been a benefactor to both the marketplace along with Bitcoin. Bitcoin had significant rallies off the lows, and this was a few days prior to the dollar breakdown. Once again, though, if I draw your attention to none other than the trading range, we can see that we are simply testing some previous reactionary highs from the large sell-off that occurred in Bitcoin. So trading ranges are important. Knowing what sort of the probabilities are within them is often sort of a key characteristic of great traders who don't necessarily have a directional bias. Oftentimes you can play these ranges back and forth. You can look for opportunities on certain pullbacks depending on the setup in the range. And ultimately the breakout or breakdown is the one that people are going to pay attention to, but oftentimes the range gave you that information prior. And if you're trading in the trading range, you can also start to position yourself with good risk definition based on these, previous support and resistance zones. They're often showing themselves well before things like a breakout occurs. And that often can be, key for sort of the risk management of a potential breakout or breakdown. So Bitcoin coming into that 42.6 level. This is going to be more apparent inside of the USD ratio chart for Bitcoin, but simply testing some of these auto highs and ultimately trying to get through this resistance zone for the first time in a couple of months. We'll see if this can be done by the bulls. We've had sort of a pretty impressive 10 or 11 day, I believe, rally from the lows. Seeing higher highs and higher lows throughout that time frame. This pullback is probably needed, but also can bulls sort of hold the elevated levels, compress the range a little bit tighter near resistance, and ultimately break out? That's going to be the next question on everybody's mind. And obviously that breakout should have the right sort of signals for good volume, good momentum, and ultimately extension to get away from the range and come and test some of these much higher points before the major sell-off, sort of the neckline of the breakdown. So with that said, I'm Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. Hopefully we can look for some of these informational points throughout the week. We're also going to be looking at something a little different this week in the form of corporate high yield bonds. I'm going to point out some new risk factors that may be starting to form in the marketplace, and obviously how to potentially prepare yourself if any of these risks come to fruition. There's been some sort of glaring signs in certain ETFs, and we'll look and see how to interpret those throughout this week. So with that said, trade safe, and we'll talk more tomorrow. Stay tuned for pre-market prep, and trade safe today.
Good morning, my friends. Welcome to the pre-market show. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great weekend. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today, my friend?
Good morning, buddy. I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing very good, very good. All right, guys, let's get started. We have here the beginning of the month. Let's see how we're going to start this one up. Right here, we have our gappers list a little bit in the green this morning. Some stuff in the red, not so much. But a lot of the names that we've been watching here, we've seen Bitcoin. I saw Bitcoin, a lot of stuff in Bitcoin here up a little bit this morning. So we'll see where that goes. And there's some names that we have not seen in a while. And hopefully those names are trading well today. So we'll see what's happening there in the gap down list. Not a whole lot. I see SQ on here. I see BTBT. Emrin, which we know can be a wild card at times. And so we'll get into the details on what's happening with those there. So before we do that, Norm, let's get into the market. What kind of news is coming out for today as we move into our market open?
Yeah, man. So Jared went through it. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse, but a decent gap up this morning. So we're up against the all-time highs. Feel like a broken record. Been saying that for How long now?
Yeah.
And we've got some data coming out later this week. Friday we will have the payrolls and unemployment rate for July, and average hourly earnings and such. So a little bit of inflation data possible coming today. We've got market manufacturing PMI 945, ISM manufacturing index at 10, and construction spending at 10 as well. So. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Let's get to it, guys. Let's start here by removing our watch list from Friday. We'll remove this here. Control X. Nope, that not work. Why is this opening up? Hold on a second, guys. Not sure why this is here. Another montage. Did I hit the wrong button? Control X. I probably did. There we go. All right, perfect. Gappers list. Let's start with what's gapping up this morning. Low flow leading the way, 7.1 million shares flow. Volume is looking good. DLPN, we've seen this before. Does not trade very well.
This morning it's trading well.
But yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't trade very well. But this morning it's got some action because it's got 1.6 million shares traded, guys. So it's got some volume in here today. Norm, any news, any catalysts moving this one this morning?
Yes, Fungus. They are partnering with another company to get into NFTs.
So NFTs is still a thing. That's still like.
Yes, man. I thought that was. I thought it was so April, but I guess they're back for this morning. So
I thought that was going to be a very short season, but yeah, it's on here. So DLPN guys on fire this morning. Great pre-market action. You can see this here by the couple of ABCD patterns is trying to form and bull flag. So that is looking nice. Definitely in play today. VXRT. This one is on our list again. We had this on our list. Was it Thursday or Friday? I can't recall. The issue with this one, man, and this is why, if you guys remember, I moved it from my main list down to my secondary list, is because the trading action could be funky at times. It looks like I stopped streaming in the chat room for whatever reason. I did not touch anything, but give me a second, guys, over on YouTube. I am going to, even the mic went off for some reason. That was strange. Let's gonna go refresh that. vMix over to our chat room. Okay, let's get that going. All right, sound is not turning on for some reason.
It was the NFT comment.
It really was, man. They're not playing games over there. I'm going to refresh because for some reason the mic is not turning on. I see the screen is back on, but not the mic.
Yeah, refresh.
Yeah, we'll refresh quickly, guys. YouTube, just give a little patience here. While you wait, definitely hit that thumbs up. We highly appreciate it. It helps us a whole lot here to continue to do this show for you guys every morning starting at 8 a.m. with Jared engineering the markets and continuing with the market open and going live. We've been going live to about at least 10:30 a.m. every morning with Andrew and Brian. So again, appreciate your support as we continue to grow this channel on here on YouTube. All right, let's see if we're back now. Here's let's try this one more time. We're gonna go here vMix and get this going.
I got audio in the room. Now we got your screen up. We're good to go.
All right, excellent. Let's rock and roll, guys. We left off here in VXRT. Maybe this ticker is so bad that it disconnected our chat room. Trying to save you guys some money there. And that's what it was. The action at the open last week was horrible. I'm so glad I moved it down to my secondary list and was not paying attention to it. It did the same thing. It had this good pre-market action, and at the market open, it just kept dropping down. The price action was just funky on it. So I don't have no high hopes for this one. I hope in this entire list we can find something different or better, at least better. So we'll
find better.
Yeah, we'll find something better. So ATCX this morning, this is not looking all that good. Volume is a little bit light. You did get a great pop here this morning, but has not done anything. So I'm gonna skip on this one. Also, not a low flow, a borderline. 21 million shares float there. Here's Sava. Sava's been good, man. I have not traded it, but I've seen some great trades on this one. You just have to be really careful with your number of shares. This thing can be an aggressive animal. You know, it can turn his head really fast up against you. So you just got to be careful. Just got to be very careful.
Tends to have a fairly nasty spread. If you look at the level 2 there, you've got it was 15 cents for a second at 76.85 and 77, but then there's huge gaps in the next another jumped in right there at 76.50, but you're all the way down. If that 76.85 gets pulled or taken out, you're all the way down to 76.30.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So again, you just got to be careful. The spread,
yeah,
guys, it does get better at the open, but you have to make sure before you take that trade, you look at that up there. Another way to get around that is to send a limit order, right? Protect yourself
yeah.
as far as spread. You might not get filled right away, might have to wait, but that's another way
You
to
might be
protect
happy you didn't
yourself.
get filled.
You might be happy, yes. That's the way to protect yourself from something like this with a spready action. Nathan, my friend, thank you so much for
Thank
the
you,
super
Nathan.
chat. Very much appreciated. I think we do. No, do we have the
I'm gonna
charity?
official.
Yep.
Yes, I have an idea. I will officially announce it tomorrow because there's a 2-day delay on the totals on how much super
For
chats
last
come in
month.
for total. Yeah, so I'll have that on the 2nd of each month. But I can, yeah, I'll discuss. I'll have a fancy slide for it tomorrow.
Oh,
We'll
I love
discuss
it.
what the
Cannot wait to.
charity is for
Yep.
July and what the new one is going to be for August. We can chat about that.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you for the donations. Again, if you do not know, every donation here, dollar by dollar, will be met by Andrew for the charity that we pick that month. So thank you for that, Nathan. Appreciate your support there. Heading on down, we do have ON this morning on. This thing is volume is a little bit light. Has a nice pop here of 9%, but again, just the volume is not great at the moment. I'm gonna skip it for now. If it gets better, we can look at it. It is up 9.2. Volume on the daily is not great. 6 million shares here for the most part on some of the higher days. We'll see. Let's see if this gets better. We'll leave it off the list for now. Here's A Firm this morning. They're up 6.8, 118,000 shares traded. I don't think have we ever looked at this one. A Firm. Oh yes, we have looked at this before. Not sure how it trades. The volume seems a little bit lighter here, guys. I'm gonna put it as a paso for now. We'll come back to it. Let's see how this thing moves here.
This is on a play. The reason Square is down this morning, they're making an acquisition of a company called Afterpay, which is buy now, pay later company. And this is in the same space. So they're getting popped on the buyout, taking part over there.
Gotcha. All right, that could be exciting news there for them. Let's see how this plays out. Right now, volume's a little bit lighter. Let's see if that gets better into the market open. Here is XPEF this morning. This looks good. XPEF's 393,000 shares traded. It's a little bit early. We're used to seeing a whole lot of volume on XPEF and NEO, but this pre-market action looks nice here. Very clean here as we're creating some candles this morning. I also like the daily, guys. If you see this price action right now sitting right at an area of support and resistance, mainly resistance in the last couple of days. So that could be nice here. I like XPEF this morning. We'll throw that on there. We can take a look at NEO and see what is NEO doing today as well. NEO also looks good, guys. A lot more volume, 1.5. Great day on Friday. Possible continuation today. I'm going to add both of them here. We can fine tune this a little bit later. Lee is also up here. So again, all these are nice this morning.
We've got it's the first of the month. So as that happens, we start getting auto delivery numbers, and China always comes out first because they're essentially a day ahead. So numbers will come out. NEO's numbers actually were not all that great. So I'm surprised they're up the way they are, but XPEV and Lee are up on some pretty strong numbers and optimism over NEO. I will remind you, we've had the crazy Chinese legislation that's just been killing these tickers recently. Yeah. So something to keep in mind as you trade them.
Be very, very careful here. All three of them in play at the moment. I'm going to add Lee to a possible. I don't want to fill up the entire main watch list of just EV vehicles here, but Lee is definitely a good one. I like NEO and XPEF at the moment, with NEO a little bit better right now, just because the share volume has been trading so far. BNTX on here, guys. This one, again, it's just difficult to trade. It does some really good moves. The volume's a little bit lighter. When you have these lighter volume trades here per day, and you have such a huge price action, and you're moving, $10, $20 a day, the price action could be a little funky, and the spread could be a little nasty. So I really don't like trading these that much. I'm going to stay away from this one, but BNTX definitely up this morning here after an incredible run all end of July into August now. So we'll see where this thing wants to go. Looks like it's hitting all-time highs. But again, it's just not a great intraday trading stock. Here's TIGR. We'll do this one last. At the moment, they're up 3.8, 226,000. They're just stuck in a consolidation, I think, right now. So I don't see anything great on the daily. And the pre-market action, I don't see anything great neither. And if you're asking, what looks good and what looks bad about this one, look at this pre-market action, the way that is forming. And now let's take a look at a NEO. See the way this is forming here. this is beautiful. This is nice. You got some action going on here, some breaking out of some daily levels here. You got your pre-market high up here you're trying to get to. This is what you want to see. You do not want to see something like this. Now, can it get better later down the line? Absolutely, but it's not where it needs to be right now for us. So we'll move on to our gap down list this morning. Emren leading the way, low flow at 9.7 million. Today they are up, they're down 10% of 461,000 shares traded. Now, this is a low flow stock we had a lot of fun with almost a month back in the end of June. At the moment, guys, I mean, again, just got to be careful. I hope to find something better than this. I mean, this thing can take off any minute. It is a low flow. It can get volume very easily and get a nice little pop here over to that $8.75 or $10. But for the most part, I'm just hoping we can find something better, man.
So they had earnings on Friday night. Always be weary of a company that announces their earnings after the close on a Friday.
Yes.
It's just like politics. You dump the bad info going into the weekend. Hope people don't, they pick up something else over that 2-day span.
That is very true. Not a lot of companies do that. It's very, very strange. So also in the low flow stocks, let's just be careful. I don't like what I'm seeing on it right now. Volume is also very light on these low flows. You want to see some really significant volume. I'm not seeing that Emren either this morning. AHPI, we've seen this before. It's just a nasty overall stock. We'll spend no time on it. Here's SQ. Based on what you told me,
feel.
Yes, based on what you told me, SQ is definitely in play, and it looks it. I mean, look at SQ's pre-market action. It looks very, very good, guys. Usually a nicey stock like this one, especially this one, doesn't give you the best pre-market action. Today they're on fire. 827,000 shares traded, down 3%. This is a good one today, guys. Looking very nice. So definitely on our list.
They were down to substantially more earlier. They were down 8 to 10%, I believe, at their lows. So I figured they might have a chance of coming back. We'll see how it goes later.
Yeah, we'll see. They're looking to close this gap here. Here's BT, 15 million shares flow. Another one that it's seen some good stuff out of this one, but I preferably like to trade like a Mara or a Rye instead of this one, right? So I'm not a fan of this one. Let's take a quick look at Mara, what those guys are doing. They're pretty much flat right now. Not a whole lot going on, consolidating. I don't see anything great on Mara at the moment. Norm, anything you like that we might have not touched on yet?
No, you're good.
So let's head on over to our beautiful chat room and with our members here. Let's start with, all right, let's scroll up. What do we have? Rubber toe. We looked at VXRT. Just be careful. And it's funny, VXRT is one that we mentioned before. It trades very well in the pre-market. And then at the market open, it just does nothing. It just collapses. But this pre-market actually is not looking all that great, though. So just be careful here. I don't like the algo-like action we're getting here. It's just, I don't know. Just be careful with that. All right, heading on down. What do we have? Let's take a look here. NEO is on deck, so that's good. VXRT, which is big. We spoke about that a little bit. I just don't like the way that's moving. And I don't like the way it trades after the market open. And keep an eye on it. You'll see what I'm talking about. BNTX, yes, we looked at that one. The issue with BNTX, guys, again, it's just the spread and overall risk management on this thing is just wild. They're very light on volume. Not saying that it's not tradable, but it takes a different kind of trader to trade this stock, right? You got to have a different technique, a different strategy that you can be able to have still good risk management, and a stock's going to get very light volume and still move $10 and possibly have very bad spread. Now, at the moment, 30 cents, not too bad for a $342 stock. The way this one trades, but just be careful on that. EVK, what do we have here? EVK, all right, good pre-market action right now. EVK up 80%, 6.2 million shares traded. What is the float on this one? EVK, we are looking at a 4 million shares flow. Yeah, this low flow is looking very active right now. Definitely worth putting on here, guys. Good volume at the moment, great pop, a good pre-market action. If we can hold here, this is looking very nice. I don't like the ones that kind of start selling down here back to the base, but this is looking very good this morning. AMD, oh, I skipped a few. Hold on. Oh no, I'm right on track. Chris has given us AMD this morning. Yeah, I think AMD, we're going to be watching AMD for some time, guys. AMD has been just incredible. On Friday was just awesome, man. This thing just continues to break all-time highs. This pre-market action already hitting all-time highs here. Again, we got great volume on it. Let's see where it goes. Beautiful daily here. Eventually, it's got to get toppy here, right? The last 3 days, just crushing it here, gapping up and ending higher. We'll see where this is going to take us today, but definitely in play. Great pre-market action, great volume. Tesla's a good one to have here. I'm sorry, AMD. Tesla is also in play, guys. Tesla also looking very good at the moment. When do they report, Norm? Did they report today as well? I mean, their numbers, or is that coming down later or something?
They'll report deliveries either today or tomorrow.
Okay.
Or yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of getting a feel for what the other few in their category have reported and how they're looking. So they're kind of maybe moving here nicely. They're up 2.2, guys, 562. I think they're also in play as well. I'm going to put them as a possible.
Yeah,
I like
sympathy.
NEO.
I think that's sympathy on the Chinese EVs that have already released. So they're moving on that stuff in anticipation of decent numbers. We'll see.
Absolutely. Here's TSEM. Now, we've seen this before, guys. I do not like the way this thing trades. The volume is horrible on it. So again, stay away from something like this. Or if you are going to trade it, just be extremely cautious. I just don't like the way that moves at all. The pre-market action and also the daily, the intraday action is pretty bad on that one.
It's got 32,000 shares traded this morning. Why are we looking at it?
Exactly. Let's move on. Here's On. We looked at On earlier.
Literally.
Guys.
Let's move.
We looked at On earlier. It's up 9.6, 114,000 shares traded. I don't know. I'm not sure about this one, guys. I don't like the pre-market action right now. Maybe it can get better. We looked at it earlier briefly. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of what I'm seeing here. So we'll move on. Yeah. Apple. What is Apple up to nowadays? AMD's been taking all the action from us, from Apple. Apple this morning pretty much flat right now, guys. Again, you're up above
the daily though.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're up above this area here, which is nice. You see the daily kind of got a nice little curvature here. Maybe looking to test some of these all-time highs here. So yeah, could be it could be a very possible actually. And if the market, if we don't find anything else, it could actually be one on our main list. In the way it's going right now, I think we might move it up on our main list. XCUR. XCur here. This one, more of a penny stock type stock. I mean, you got this 15 million shares traded here. This is typically not this type of stock that I like to watch, and it mainly looks like it's trading under $2 here. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. And the reason for that, guys, is because again, our strategies don't work very well in stocks that look like this one, where it's very low price. You got all this volume that you're pushing around, but you're not really making a whole lot of moves here. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. BSQR. Here's another one. What do we have going on? Up 14%. Daily is not great at the moment. It's got some volume here. It's just moving sideways. Again, I'm always concerned with these type of stocks. All this sideways action with so much volume. They're up 14% and they're daily not looking great. Just a lot of things that are not going good for this one right now. So I'm gonna stay away from this here. All right, let's see what else we got going on. AMC. Let's take a look at AMC. Yeah, AMC, AMC could be one of those hit or miss type stocks. It's been consolidating over the last couple of days. That consolidation getting tighter and tighter every single time here, guys. I mean, look what we opened up here. This consolidation, now we're just kind of almost down to a point. Yeah, it could be interesting. Volume's a little on the lighter side now. Does not mean anything. You know how fast this thing can light up a match. Yeah, I like AMC, at least as a possible for now. I like this consolidation point that we're kind of trading into now. That could be very interesting, holding a nice little base here of support. Yeah, AMC could be nice if it can get going one way or the other, either up or down. So we just need a direction here from AMC. All right, a few more. CCL, and then we'll go over to our YouTube chat. CCL this morning, they're up 1.3 right now. I mean, I don't think they're really in play this morning. 458,000 shares traded. Yeah, I don't think they're really in play though. To be honest, I just don't see anything good on it. We definitely seen better out of CCL. I'm just looking at American Airlines because when I think of CCL, I think of American Airlines as well, and I don't see anything happening there neither. So I'll keep them off the list. If you do
want to have CCL on his list, it's probably not in play today.
Yeah, it's just not in play today, guys. I don't see it. All right, let's over to our YouTube chat. What do we have? Let's start here with Corey. You're giving us SQ. We do have on deck. And you're also giving us NAOV this morning. So NAOV this morning. We looked at this before, I think sometime last week. Yes, this was the low flow. Yeah, this thing was wild, man. This was the low flow that kept popping up and just dropping really aggressive. Andrew got stuck in one of these trades as well. I don't like it, man. I don't like it at all. I will stay away from it. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I remember this one being the low flow, right? Yeah, 22 million shares flow. So just be careful with this. I wouldn't waste my time on something like this. The market opened that day, I believe it was Thursday or Friday, I can't remember. It was just brutal, right? So just be careful with that. Here, CCL. Oh, we looked at CCL already. Tesla, we do have on a secondary, so that's good. Kayla, you're giving us CLF this morning. CLF right now up 1.2, 173,000 shares traded. What kind of stock is this? CLF.
Cleveland Cliffs.
Oh, okay. That sounds familiar. We looked at this before. We never
Not
traded
a
it.
great trader.
Yeah, it is not a great trading stock. So again, daily looks good here, but once you start looking at how this thing trades in the intraday, it's not great. Possible breakout here, but again, just not a great intraday trading stock. AMD we have on deck. Tesla we do have. VXRT we have not put it on here, but we did look at it, guys. You know what? It's putting in a great pre-market action. I know it is, but at the market open, it's horrible. I'm going to put it on here just so we have it as a secondary list, but we'll see. I'm telling you, this pre-market action looks great. We saw that twice last week with a great pre-market action, and the open completely bombed. The price action was very, very weird. LI we do have on deck, so that's good to go. And AOV, again, that's a low flow stock. It just didn't trade all that well last week, so I'm not a fan of it. Let's see here. NKLA, what do we have here? NKLA, interesting chart on NKLA, 160,000. They're just slamming down here now, trying to hold to this area of support. Could be interesting, but the few times I watched NKLA, it just hasn't been great, so it's just, it has good potential as far as the daily, and it just trades like trash at the open. So no, I'm not going to add this one on here. I think we're good. All right, we'll do two more here. Space, MU, and PayPal, and we'll do MMTR just for the heck of it. Let's just do those, and then we'll stop there. Space, no volume right now, pretty light, so that's not looking any good. MU, we have not seen in some time. Yeah, also not, the daily's not bad. The daily's not bad for a possible breakout, but man, I wish we had a better pre-market action and more volume. But the daily, if you have space on this one, you can add it to your list, but I'm going to keep it off. Just the volume needs to get a little bit better. But we know MU, if we watch MU hit our scanners, we can definitely tune into it. PayPal is interesting. I do like this drop on PayPal in the last couple of days. We don't have a whole lot of volume this morning, but that's okay. PayPal tends to do that in the pre-market, but I would love to see where PayPal goes from here after such a big drop the last couple of days. So keep an eye on that one. And then last one, guys, MTTR this morning. They are not looking good here, so no good here. I'll skip to the next one just to see if we can end on a good note. And IDEX, nope, not looking good either, so we'll stop right there. All right, guys, let's go over to our community announcements. We'll come back and fine-tune this list.
And as we dive into these, just a reminder over on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up button. It really does help us a lot with the algorithm and getting noticed and recommended. All right, so swing trade discussion with Brian. I don't think this is going to take place today. It is a Canadian holiday, so I believe he's going fishing either immediately or after the open, so he won't be around for that, but hopefully he can maybe catch us up tomorrow when he gets back. Onboarding tonight, 8 p.m. with Carlos, and then we've got technology immediately following that. That's available to everybody, including intro members. Tuesday, Thursday, you've got Eamon's Trade Reviews at noon. Success webinars at 8 p.m. Psychology webinars at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. And then you've got Thursday mentoring with Andrew at 11 a.m. and Thor at 8 p.m. And then, of course, Friday crypto with Jared at 11 a.m. All right. Like I said, I don't have the slide up here. We will have it updated soon. Peter is doing a success webinar tomorrow night. It was kind of a last minute, so thank you, Peter, for jumping in there. He's going to be talking about essentially roadmap for trading, what you can expect and what you can do to kind of lay out your first year. And so catch him tomorrow night. That's 8 p.m. It's the 1 year plan webinar with Peter. And then Wednesday night, 8 p.m., we've got Dr. Kenneth Reed, part of his Mastermind Pro course, talking about trading the open, but not opening ranges. So should be great. And then next week, we've got Mike. He'll be talking about importance of discipline in trading. That is the most important thing in trading, period. If you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, take a screenshot of your best trade of the day and mark it up, post it on Twitter. Give any commentary you can. Tag at Bearable Traders at MikeB_BBT and at NormBBT. Also use the hashtags BBT Family, Day Trading, and Stock Market. We'll announce a winner each afternoon on Twitter and in the room for the trade of the day, and then all those trades of the day are voted on by team of the week by the team over the weekend and announced trade of the week on Monday. If you haven't been in the room, you'd like to give it a shot, use the promo code PREMARKET24 when you sign up for the intro membership. That's that test drive that will give you a discount off it. It is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days, after which it cancels itself, and you have to actively go choose another membership if you want to remain. We don't change it into some other kind of membership or anything. Also, if you want to get 40% off the annual Elite membership, use the promo code Summer40, and as I said, it'll get you 40% off the annual Elite membership. Now, to charity. I'm gonna have a fancy slide for this hopefully tomorrow, and I will have for sure the amount, because it takes 2 days, as I mentioned, to get the amount that we will be able to donate that was given in Super Chats, plus the match by BBT/Andrew. So this month, in honor of Peter here, I have chosen to give it to a mental health charity. He's one of the first members of BBT. That will go to them. We'll match that. I will have the name and on the slide and everything tomorrow. And then for this month, in honor of Thor, and for those of you that don't know, Peter does a ton of work on the side with charities, mental health charities. For ethics reasons, we won't be donating it to one of them that he works with, but we will pick a very large mental health charity to do so. He lost his sister because of this a long time ago. It affects a lot of people, so glad we can help out with that in honor of Peter, one of the first BBT members. This month, in honor of another BBT mod, Thor, we're going to be given to an autism charity. So any donations for... everybody knows Thor with his kids with autism. So love you, buddy. You contribute a lot to BBT. So I wanted to do that for you. What I have it here, the name of, I'll have to get the names tomorrow. Anyway, looking forward to doing that. Thank you, guys.
Yep, absolutely, man. Love this cause here, guys. So any super chat will be going to that. And let's not forget, Andrew will be matching dollar for dollar as well. So looking forward to supporting some of these charities. All right, guys, let's get to it. Our list this morning, very tight. XPEF, we have that one on deck. We have Neo, we have SQ, and we have MD. So I only have 4 up here at the moment. Let's look into our secondary list, see what looks good here and what we can move up. I'm probably going to move up Apple. Yeah, I think Apple's daily looks amazing. We'll move this one up here, guys. This looks good. So Apple is getting moved up, and we'll take it away from our secondary list. And we got room for one more here. LI's in play, guys. I already have XPEP and Neo up here, so I'm not going to add it. But if you like LI, you can add that one on there. Sava, I'm concerned with the way this thing moves. I think I just can't trade something that has such a spread like this. You know, what's that? 20 cents or so, 40 cents at times. I don't know. I'm going to leave it there. Let's see what the market opens. I want to see what the market looks like after it opens up, what that spread looks like there. A-Firm this morning, we're getting some movement here. This could be interesting. Tesla we have here. Again, I already have Neo and XPEP, but Tesla is in play. You can watch that one if you prefer it. VXRT, I'm not a big fan of. And PayPal is dropping down here. I think I'm going to move PayPal up, guys. I think this could be the sleeper for today. I like the way this drop is happening here. We'll see if it is going to give us another leg down here on PayPal this morning. All right, that is what we have. Low flow stocks, EVK looking good, and DLPN also looking very nice this morning. Both of them trading with some incredible volume, up 85%, and the next one, DLPN, up 25%. Let's get some levels in here. We'll start with XPEF right now towards the bottom. The only thing I'm going to add here is a low of a pre-market over at a 41.69. You have tons of levels towards the bottom here. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. You also have your previous day close there as well. So pretty good there. Adding to trading 722. Thank you for the $5 bomb there. Appreciate you very, very much. Starting the month off with some pretty good donations this morning. So thank you for that, my friend. High of the pre-market this morning going to 42.86. We'll mark a level there. That 42.86 seen some action as well. As you can see right on here, guys, got some good touches on that 42.86, excuse me. So that's a good one there. High of the pre-market at the moment. And then slightly above that, we do have a couple of levels here. I like this one right on here, 43.91, and then 43.91. We'll mark that down. And then above that, we also have this one all the way up here at 45.42. So plenty of levels here on XPEV this morning. Pre-market action is looking good. We got some good volume. I'm heading down to NEO, very similar like daily here as well, also doing very good. A lot more volume. 45.84 is the high of the pre-market. Above this, we do have 42.26. And then above that, let's get a level right at the bottom here. We got a nice area of support over at 48.63. So some pretty good levels here towards the top. Towards the bottom, the only thing you really need to add is going to be the low of the pre-market. So we're going to put that right on here at 43.79. Outside of that, guys, you got tons of levels this morning. Do not need to add any more on here. All right, let's go over to SQ. SQ is, again, look at the comeback on SQ. It looks like it's trying to close this gap already. So we're down as much as what, at 12% we said earlier. Now only down 2%, 1 million shares traded. What a great pre-market action we're getting here, guys. 233 is the low of the pre-market. Below that, we do have another level here at 225.57. In between this level, right, nice big pop here, and here. We do have something else right on here too, 229.40. So I'm going to throw that on there. Again, these two levels here are your main levels. You can see how strong those levels are, how many touches we have here, that low of the pre-market, tons of touches there. You also have this other one here, got a lot of going on over there. And also look at this area of support that we got here probably a couple of weeks ago. Nice change in direction, beautiful bounce. So at 225, definitely two strong levels. This 229, not as strong, but you do have a couple of touches here you want to keep in mind. Again, there's a big drop from 233 down to 225 without nothing in the middle there. So we're taking care there. Now, if you look at this huge gap down that we had on SQ, which is kind of almost closing the gap here, as you can see, we do have a level right on here as well. So right in the middle of this, around I want to say this area is 239, 240, probably go with 240. A nice area there. You got a couple of days hitting that with their wicks here, guys, as support and resistance. So you would definitely want to mark that down there. In the pre-market itself, I'm just noticing that now after I put this level. Look at the area where we broke out of. Right, no coincidence, man. 239, 240. Look at the breakout there. Very nice patterns forming around that price target. So definitely add that to your list. SQ in play, guys, looking very good. New pre-market highs being made here. We'll leave that as is. We'll see if we can get over to the lows of yesterday, Friday. AMD this morning looking very nice, guys. Very strong daily. Already got some great volume in here. High of the pre-market and your all-time high sitting at 107.50. So we'll mark that there. And towards the bottom, we have our highs and lows from the last two trading days. Our previous day close is pretty much hitting the lows of the highs of Thursday. So I'm not going to mark that down. I think we got plenty of levels in here already. I think we're all set on AMD. Now, if we get to 110 today, is Peter going to take more shots or what are we doing here? I think we need to put that in. If we get to 110, well, not today, this week, or whenever we get to 110, I think we should have Peter take shots of his favorite scotch there every time we hit a 110, 115, a whole lot dollar numbers, right? Let's do that. I think it's a great idea. All right, AMD is good. Apple is looking okay as well. Day looks nice for maybe a possible breakout. Let's see here. I want to have 147 is the high of the pre-market. Above this, we do have a level all the way up here, guys. All-time high sitting at what, 150? What's the all-time high on Apple? I think it's like 150 or something. So 149.90. Is it like 149.99 or something? But we'll put it on here. 149.99. I think it's the all-time highs for Apple. And then in between this, below this, we do have here 148.58. Another great level. We got a lot of days opening and closing right around this area. So I think it's exactly 150. Thanks, Jared. So I think we're good there as far as levels above. Towards the bottom, plenty of levels, guys. Do not need to add anything more. You've been having this consolidation here for the last couple of days, creating massive levels here for highs and lows of the pre-market. Highs and lows of the daily as well. So you're pretty good there. You can, if you want to get technical, you can mark down the low of the pre-market here at 146.15. Again, I don't think you need it. You got so many levels towards the bottom here. I would love to see this break towards the top, though. There's just a lot of congestion happening down here. Towards the top will be, I think, a better, smoother ride if we can get that going. All right, here's PayPal, guys. Again, pre-market action, guys, looks nasty. I understand 100%. I do like this daily, though, for a possible breakdown or break up. I want to see where this goes today. We did have space, so we put PayPal on here. Let's see where it goes. I think this can be the sleeper today. Highs and lows of the last two trading days, doing an amazing job towards the top. I just marked down the high of the pre-market over at 178.02. Will be right over here. And then towards the bottom, if we were to break down here, let's see what we got. And it's funny, if you look at PayPal's daily, it's got a great daily chart ever since May, right? It's just trading very, very nice here. So yeah, let's see where this goes today. Towards the bottom, great level right on here, guys. 268.88, nice area of support and resistance. That's a nice level there. And then towards the bottom of that, another area of a breakout here, 265. You can see the level slamming up against that until they finally broke out to the next level of 268.88. So plenty of levels there on PayPal. Again, I know the pre-market action is not great. Usually PayPal does not have a great pre-market action, but I'm looking forward to see what that one is going to do today. All right, let's see what our moderators have this morning. Let's bring this on up over here. All right, we got a good list of people already. Let's stop this here. How do we do that? Here we go. Video, resize this and bring it over. See what our moderators are looking at this morning. What do they like? Here we go. Expand this so you guys can get a nice little view here. As I'm doing this, guys, do not forget to hit that thumbs up if you have not done so already on YouTube. Highly appreciate it. It helps us out a ton here to continue to grow this channel and provide these live sessions for you. Scrolling up, who do we have? We'll start with Tiffany. No, that's just an announcement. Ladies, if you'd like to join our women's Slack channel, please email Tiffany there so you can do that. Here's Thor, Neo, good price action there. Pins, AMD, SQ, and XPEV. We have all these except pins, and I'll look at pins because pins was wild last week. Dima is looking at XPEV, Lee, AMD, and Apple. Mike is looking at AMD, Apple, and Tesla. Tiffany's looking at SQ, Tesla, and AMD. Eamon is looking at Apple and NKLA, NVIDIA. Secondary is Oxy, XON, PayPal. Careful with this one, I agree 100%. And then we have Tesla, XBEV, and Lee. Secondary list on, and AMD for Jarvis. So pretty good list this morning, guys. What did Thor have on there? He had, which one was it? Pins, yeah, Pins. I'm interested because Pins had a wild move last week. We saw this huge drop on it, but you know what? It just did not trade well, though. If you guys remember how choppy it was, it had a great pre-market action. I mean, beautiful pre-market action. I mean, this is what you want to see. See the way this is moving here. Then at the market open, look at this. It's just went nuts. I mean, it's just what's happening here? It did get better, but it was just a horrible pre-market market open for Pins. So hopefully that can change today. They're down nicely from last week, as you can see here, trying to recover. We'll see what happens. So good possible for Pins, though. I definitely want to keep an eye on that one after such a big drop. What is their plans for the coming days? All right, I think we are all set, guys. Andrew and Brian are up next. They'll be trading live. Thor. Thor's on today. Okay, excellent.
Thor's covering for Andrew this morning. Dan asked Mindful Monday's not happening. No, it will be Thoughtful Tuesday. I think Dr. Katz is traveling or something today, so we're going to have him tomorrow. We'll make it up tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Dr. Katz will be with us. And so we have Thor and Brian trading live with us this morning. And just give it a second while they transition over. We'll just take us a bit to get them all fired up and running here. So, all right, while we wait, I think we have a good list today, guys. A little recap. We have XPEV, which looks very nice. I like the daily. Neo, very similar. Also amazing volume, looking good this morning. Great pre-market action. We have SQ on here, which is just... Norm, did you get in on SQ? Did you have any action on this, man?
No, wow. I wrapped up a while ago.
Well, what did you trade, my friend?
I don't know what's going on here. Hang on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, here it is. All right, let's share what we have here from. How do I do this? So the way to do this, there you go. I got to learn my buttons here. There we go. So that is DLPN. Wow. Norm, seriously, man? Seriously?
Yep.
What an entry. Incredible, my friend. Incredible. Great job, man. Great job. So you are done for the day for sure. And yeah. So you can take the rest of the day off. Good morning, Brian. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing well. How's everyone doing today?
You're doing good, guys.
Hey, Thor, we got a question. Corey Balati on YouTube is he's with us all the time, so I wanted to see if we could answer this. He's talking about global trend lines on DAS. We always try to, every once in a while, we try to throw out something. He's getting a max number of global trend lines. Isn't there a way to change that? Can we help him out?
Yes, there is. And we do have an amazing forum post. And I forgot how to do it, but I had to go to this forum post from Abio. He put a great forum post up So let's get the link here. We'll send it out even if we
Corey,
before we
hang
hop
on
off.
over there on YouTube, and
Yeah.
we'll put the link up.
Link.
Somebody will over there for you. There
Yeah,
is a way to get around it.
Yeah, yeah. And you just put infinite number, whatever. And then if you have these, what's going to happen is you're going to have on older charts, you're going to have like this blackout thing over here. Just delete it. Sometimes you might see it on my chart, and then when you redo new levels, so it go away. Oh, it looks like we might have something here already. Trading settings. Actually, we might have the answer for you now. So here it is. Try this. Go over to trading settings, and then here, this global trend line limit. Just change that to like 9999999 and you'll be fine. So set up trading settings, global trend line limit, change that there, and you should be good to go. All right, guys, take care. Brian is on already. Thor will be on in just a second, and we will be good to go. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and good morning, everyone out on YouTube. Yeah. There you go. I'm in the tube. So hopefully that works. Yes, it did. Okay, good morning, Thor. Are you there, my friend?
Hey, what's going on, Brian?
Just trying to see if something interesting here. DLPN definitely has been on fire. Of course, I don't get up that early enough to trade that kind of a move. These things do like to make a move around 8 o'clock in the morning. I can see the Lee came out with some good numbers on their car deliveries. Kind of blew away some numbers. And pretty much everything's in the green except for AMD Square.
Yeah, one of them I'm looking at is SQ today. Our good buddy SQ might be ready for a play today. Rarely moves in the pre-market well at all, and it has really been moving around this morning.
Yeah.
So it rallied right back to a previous daily level and then died off of it, which is fairly to be expected during an opening rally. So might be looking for this thing to maybe backtest VWAP or S4 or something, maybe even hold S3, and could be a cool rally today or something like that. I really like the way it looks right now, so I'm going to be keeping an eye on that one. See what happens.
They came out and I guess they've bought another company. So usually the acquirer is the one that drops, which would be Square. I think it's an all stock deal from what I recall. Sava looks somewhat interesting here. EVK kind of looks interesting. Although I feel like this is one of those ones that could fade at the open. Sorry, what's your watch list, Thor? I didn't catch it on the open there.
Right now, the main ones I'm kind of looking at are Neo and SQ. They've got the good movement and volume. XPEV and LI, like you were saying, I think LI has got some stuff. AMD's been a straight mover for like the past week. So that's been a pretty good. And then I actually have pins on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Pins had the earnings, a good earnings report, I think it was last week, but got crushed afterwards. Big drop. And then the volume, though, it accumulated on a very narrow range on Friday. Tons of volume, really small area. So I want to see if, if we had somebody come in and buy buy a lot there at the discount, and maybe this thing starts moving back up.
Right.
Yeah, SQ's challenge, Chris, can be the spread. You'll have to wait for it to open to really feel comfortable playing it. But it's I mean it's a $250 stock, so it's not surprising to say. I mean, its spread can go up to 50 cents, which is a little aggressive for it. So once it opens, and the first 5 minutes or so goes by, it'll narrow its spread a little bit and trade better. Normally during the open, SQ just looks horrible. It's a very poor trading stock in the pre-market, so that's kind of what has me interested in it, is the fact that it is moving in the pre-market, and it does seem to have a little bit of a pattern here, bumping its head against this daily level. And I'm like, well, that's not normal for SQ, so I'm looking for what's not normal. So could just be squeezing in the pre-market, because Brian is right. SQ is the acquirer, and normally the acquirer does not get a rally after the acquisition. So we may be having a little morning squeeze as people buy on the hopes of long-term growth. But rarely does that hold in these situations. So we might have an opening squeeze off this daily level and then get a fade off of it. So we'll have to play it kind of just what it gives us. You won't be able to pre-plan this one.
All right. Well, I'm still trying to lock down my watch list here. Still got 10 minutes to the open. I see Tesla's back over 700. US dollars down a little bit again today. Qs are popping up here.
Spy's got a lot of like stuffed candles on the daily for the past few days. Two red hammer candles on the top side, but then two green inverted hammers. So it's Spy's looking very choppy last week. Let's hope this week provides more direction. Good, Chuck. How are you this morning?
Okay, well, F you to you. And I'm not saying that to you, Thor. But
I won't take that personally.
but FU to you is the FUTU is kind of interesting here. It's gapping up a fair amount. Not a lot of volume, but coming off a low here.
How's everybody over in YouTube Landia doing today? Notice we've got quite a few people on the stream today. Hello, everybody.
I think Nicola reports this week. I'm surprised the thing isn't zero. Yeah, Nvidia is looking interesting. It's flirting with keeps flirting with that $200 level. I actually have some Nvidia, and I just keep selling every week. I just keep selling calls against it. It's sort of hanging in there. So I'm just selling calls and then just selling upside calls and then just collecting the premium because it doesn't seem to want to get through 197.50 is where I'm selling the calls at. At some point, I might get called away, but
Not yet.
not yet. No. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
Nvidia's been
watch.
pretty fun post split. I mean, it's been
Yeah,
very, or should I say, pretty choppy post split. Just keeps bouncing up and down. I can see what you're saying. I'm looking at the daily right now. It's
yeah.
lots
It's
of
been kind of
wiki
stuck.
top and bottom indecisive candles.
Yeah. Okay, so there's just push my watch list up there. We got 5 minutes to the open. Yeah, I don't know what Square's going to do. It's literally sitting around the yesterday or Friday, I should say, sitting around Friday's low.
Yeah, the daily and weekly both, or the daily shows a pretty high value area, around like maybe a couple dollars higher than this. So maybe, and that would put it up near around R3. So maybe we get an opening squeeze up to R3, and then we'll see what we do there. Oh, there we go. We just popped through that daily level.
No, I'm working on an options. I'm working on a book. It has have a couple of chapters on options. Um, but I'm just getting the book's being edited right now, so it's probably not going to be out for another. I'm hoping by end of September.
Nice. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's just it's slow. The guy who's the editor lives in the interior of BC, and they keep coming and knocking on his door and telling him to be prepared to be evacuated because of the fires there. So
Oh yeah.
it's taking a little longer than hoped. Squares popping up here a bit, eh?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the fires up there, huh? I mean, that's
Yeah, we
pretty
need the rain
serious.
that it was Brian was posting about.
Uh-huh. We're hogging all of it down here in Florida.
Yeah,
I'll
I
try
think
and send
something
some
like
your
that.
way.
You'd like that. So Square is almost flat. Square is reporting this week for as well, I believe. AMD's fading a bit. Billy's really dropped here. Oh, did they report this Monday? Oh, okay. I thought they were later in the week. Why did I think that? Oh, they moved up the call. Okay. Qs are just dropping now. Getting some pretty funky price action just at before the open here.
That's very interesting. It'll be interesting to see how SQ plays with earnings mixed with the all this other stuff going on with them. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I missed on revenue. Okay. Actually, I'm surprised they're actually up that much, or at least flat. Um,
Pretty good volume too.
Interesting. I guess they like that acquisition. It's probably offsetting maybe
Yeah,
So maybe,
must.
yeah, I'll look at, we'll see what Square does today. Might look at selling some calls,
Could always be a
upside
trap, I
calls.
suppose.
Billy's starting to look like a short. What's KWeb doing? KWeb's dropping a bit. KWeb Chinese Internet ETF. Sava's still looking pretty strong here.
All right, you got 1 minute till the open, everybody. Good luck today. The market itself, SPY, kind of on low volume right now. Been really choppy the past week, so just keep in mind our opening session may come with some chop as everyone starts to make some decisions on what they want the market to do this week. So patience will likely be a virtue today. I'm saying that to myself more than
Yeah,
anybody else.
I think so.
So good luck, everyone. Enjoy.
Square looks interesting. It's still strong
I mean,
here.
Square is really moving.
Yeah. I'd be watching for Square, maybe a bit of a pullback at the open here, and then could be a long.
Heck, it's way above VWAP now.
Yeah, I know. It's
Ding,
really
ding.
extended. Here we go. KWeb dropping hard. Watching Lee as well here. Threw Lee up on my watch list. SPY's popping here. Uber's dropping. Billy's coming back up. It's got long some Lee on that pullback. 34.32. It's going to sell some here at 34.60 just to take some off. DLPN's a bit of a dud. Square's still popping here. Did you get into Square at all, or?
Yeah, but I got in. I'm short actually off the top side of it.
Okay, cool.
So I shorted when it popped up through 252. There was a ton of red on the tape, so I shorted with the seller. So if it comes back through 252, I'm out at break even. Right now, I'm holding now to see if it drops.
Lee's coming back to my break even, so I'm gonna get out of it.
No, I'm out.
Yeah.
Big pop, yeah. Dodge that one. Break even.
Wow, look at that. Look at Square go. Lee is so choppy here. So I made a little bit of money on Lee on that pullback. Sava looks like it's gonna break out here. Except I hate the spread on Sava. Wow, look at Square rip.
Spread is super aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah, you really got to choke down that that spread on that. The Qs are dropping here. IWM starting to take off. Afria HPI is interesting. Interesting. Let's sell some AHPI. 81. I think we're going to get halted here. Going into a halt. Okay, so I'm long AHPI into this halt.
Nice.
Yeah, so well, we'll see because that I can't remember which one Andrew traded yesterday
Oh,
or
I know that was
Friday.
brutal.
Yeah, that was horrible. I can, hard to believe that just dropped like a stone.
Yeah, that was one of the worst resumes from a
Yeah.
from a hold I think I've ever seen. I mean, that was just brutal. Dang, I guess I should have longed Neo. I was like watching it. I was like, what's going on? Nope, it's just long.
Just long some Lee again here through 35. Oof, big drop there. Keep my size small on Lee just because it's just really choppy. Sava's. I'd like to get into Sava, but I just don't like the spread on it.
Oh man, look at things go down.
Yeah, look at Square. Square's just on fire.
Yeah, I made the wrong call there. I got out at break even, thankfully, but I made the wrong call on that one.
Yeah,
I should have bought that long.
Man, so strong. I think it's going to be what's that upper 265 is probably where there's going to be some resistance. Okay, we're back, just back at 35 on Lee. I sold some more there. I don't know what's going on with Lee. Billy's breaking out.
Great grab, Lou, on Neo. I'm still flat. I haven't gotten into anything yet since everyone. I'm just kind of waiting to let things shake out a bit. Everything moved way further than I expected, faster than I expected, so I'm a little off for a second.
I just can't believe Square is just going to the. I kind of looked at it and I thought, this is probably going to take off, but it was one of those. I knew it.
Yeah.
Tesla's actually strong too here. Got a few things that are popping up on the screen that are red. Facebook, Twitter, Netflix, and Roku. I think Roku reports this week unless they moved it up. Yeah, I see the Qs are dropping here. Okay, let's see what happens here. When are we going to open up? 9:39. 9:39 will open up on AHPI. I've already got some. I got some on the to sell here at 9:20. See if we get a. Hopefully we get a pop. Yeah, I think, yeah, right. Wednesday after the close. What's AMD doing? Oh, AMD's dropping hard, eh? Yeah, the Qs are not are dropping here. Yeah, so the AMD really leaked off. AMD had such a monster couple days there. The IWM is looking like it's going to break out, which is the small caps. It's where money's continuing probably to rotate into. Still no open on HPI here.
I'm a little long on pins at 58.20. Just going to see if we hold here. If we come back and make a new low, I'm going to get out.
Come on, open her up. Open her up. Let's go.
Never mind. Well, we'll see.
Yeah. I am just long some TNA just because IWM's breaking out here. Why aren't they opening that AP, AHP? Qs are continuing to leak off here.
Flat on pins at break even. It's going to be a slow start for me.
I'm getting nervous about this HPI trade. Still haven't opened it. I'm not seeing it too much that I'm really crazy about trading. It looks like Lee might be it's really struggling at this 35 level. It might break out. Billy just took a huge drop and then came back. Okay, well, let's see what else. What's going on in the scanner land? Tesla, Baba's popping up here. Baba's reporting tomorrow. That's going to be interesting. AMD could be putting in a double bottom here, guys. Might be a little early for a double bottom. Yeah, I can see square. Just watching AMD. We got that 104 level to trade against. Sava's popping, breaking out here. Yeah, I know Sava's going. I can see that.
SQ may be consolidating for another leg up.
All right, so I sold a fine. Oh, okay, I got a decent fill on AHPA PI 944. I had an order in at 922 or 920, I should say. Sweet. So HPI, that made a good trade there on that one. UPST. Yeah, Lee's a dog's breakfast, I tell you. Squares retesting high of day.
SPY's moving back towards its low of day right now, and Q's still leaking off.
That's amazing. The market and money's definitely rotating into the small caps. The Qs have gone red on the day. Yeah, Sava looks quite interesting, eh? Through 82. The bid-ask's tightened up a bit. Actually, Sava that pullback to the VWAP would have been a good entry. Same with Billy, pulled back to the VWAP. Are you in any positions here now, Thor?
Currently, no.
Okay.
I'm just kind of evaluating. I tried a couple. Both of them ended at break even for me. So I'm just kind of sitting back, letting the SPY kind of figure out what it wants to do. Right now, the market's still chopping a bit. So it just bounced off of R3 really well and bought up. So maybe that's more of a signal of what's to come. I don't know. But until this market shakes out a bit, I'm going to hang out.
Well, I'm sure the options volatility is still hot on the high side, especially based on what the move has been. I kind of felt like Square was going to sell off, just like PayPal did, but seems that it's pretty strong right now, obviously.
There's a lot of selling on it right now, but
yeah, it kind of you could say it's a double top, but it's been so strong. It's like kind of like you just shorting a stock like this is kind of like stepping in front of a freight train.
Yeah.
It's still going to push higher. We're probably going to go through 270s if it continues here. If we break through 268, which it sure looks
The
like it's going
volume
to.
has been lower, so
Yeah.
I think it's going to go. It looks like a consolidation.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, crap. Look at that. Who played that? Did anyone play that double bottom on AMD? I stopped looking at it. I should have been watching it. Nice, guys. That was that was a really decent setup on AMD. I don't know what the hell was I looking at. I think I was looking at Square. Dang.
Yeah, me too. I was preoccupied. I should have played it.
Shoot, that was a nice setup on Square. I mean, or AMD. Dang anyway, that's the kind of one this kind of a bottoming pattern is, we tested the 104 level on that 103.94. Nice, Lucio. Yeah, I put in that bottoming pattern at right just under 104. 103.93 was the second, 94 was the second bottom. So when it was trading about 104.30, that would have been, 30, about a 30-cent risk. Yeah, made a nice move too. Nice big pop right through both moving averages, 9 and 20, through the view app. No hesitation there. Still sitting with some TNA here.
Got a little short going on Neo off of $46. Just got a little profit on it. Nothing too serious. If it pops back up through to my break even, obviously I'm out, but at least making a little lunch money.
Yeah, I've been watching you. Yeah, it had a nice move there, eh? Wow.
There we go. Partial here.
Get a few shares there. Again, don't like the spread on it, but yeah, it's moving up nicely here.
All right, level 2 is looking more bearish for me now too.
Yeah, look at the Qs. The Qs are continuing to roll over here. SQQQ is moving up, which is the short. The Qs. Wow, there's just been some really crazy price action. Billy just rolled, pretty strong rejection. Lee just rolled over. The SPY's been really choppy.
All right. Let's see if Pins has been chopping this low area and just had a really big volume spike come in. I didn't have my time and sales up, so I didn't get to see which direction, if that was that order came in, but it looks fun. Got a partial on Neo at VWAP.
Nice.
Or just above it, technically, R1. Was an order at 58. Thanks, Grasshopper.
AMD's bouncing off the VWAP.
Sorry, Lou. I'm just gonna. Okay, Lou. I'm just gonna drop the price down a bit for you, and that way you can get more move later. I'm long some pens off of that volume spike, so I'm gonna see if this thing, what it does. Yeah, absolutely, Lou. Just worried about you, brother. Yeah, baby. There we go. Pens going through VWAP partial. Cool. All right. Making some progress.
Yeah, I had a good, really good trade on a HPI. Lee's been a bit of a dog's breakfast, not very green on that one, but yeah, Square is kind of back at fair value now. Billy's been just horrible trading. Qs are bouncing back. SPY's just really just chopping in a range right now. Oh, well, FUTU was actually, FUTU was actually a pretty decent move today. Looks like it's trying to break out here as well.
I was going to say the language.
The language. Going to get a call from HR. Yeah, this is BTBT. Oh, look at QCOMs popping up on the screen too here.
CCL is interesting here, actually.
Yeah, there's been a number of movers here this morning. It was probably a good good morning to keep an eye on the scanners. Wow, nice pop on FUTU. Again, not crazy about the spread. AMD going higher now off the VWAP.
Yeah, SPY's back to test those lows again. Really interested in this 440.10 area. It keeps coming back and then bouncing, buying off of this spot. I'm not sure I like CCL either way right now. The volume is very flat on it. The ladder looks bullish to me. So I would have trouble playing it short without a volume spike and a more bearish ladder. But the SPY right now doesn't know what it wants to do. So CCL may just kind of have a little struggles there.
Wow, EVK really took off here. It's halted. Missed. I was kind of having that one on the corner of my screen there, but I'd missed it.
Big thing just spiked on SPY. Something just happened here. Order flow just really increased on the SPY.
You mean it dropped? It looked like the SPY dropped there.
Yeah, the SPY dropped, but on a lot of orders. Like SPY's just did like as much volume in the past like few seconds as it did like in the whole like I don't know 30 minutes prior. Something's gonna happen now. I'm long a little SPY off at 440.10. I'm gonna see if that was the signal that we're gonna move. I think it was.
Yeah, what was that drop? Was it just market makers pulling their orders, or
Yeah,
just
I think it was a market maker movement.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't know. Now it's stuffing right off the opening price, so I might bail if it comes back down through like 440.10. If it loses it, I might just go ahead and bail. It should go here if it was them. That should be all the trigger we need.
Yeah, Billy's breaking out.
Yeah, I'm out just for now. I'll wait a second and get back in.
Wow. FU2U is still ripping here. I just don't like to chase. I don't want to chase it. Billy broke out too. K-Web's back at Friday's high. So we're getting a bit of a bounce on the Chinese stocks today. Lee has just been horrible. I'm going to look at that again. Neo is breaking out here. It's got along some Neo 46.10. See where. See if we can get a continuation move here. Long some Neo. Here we go. Come on. Let's give me a. I'd like to see 46.50. There's no real big ask up there either. That's the only challenge, fortunately. Square. Right back at high of day here.
Oh, what'd you do, Carlos? Oh, nice, Carlos. Nailed Neo. Good on you, brother. Better than Thor. All my trades today have stunk. You bet, brother. All right, so that was a lot less excitement than I expected for that 5 minutes after that volume trigger. So I guess we'll see.
I'm going to add add a little bit more on Neo here. 45.85. Long.
Oh, good thing I got out of it. Spy dumping now.
I'm out of Neo. Yeah, you're right.
Spy coming down to pre-market low and losing it.
Qs are rolling over again here. Still think Neo is going to bounce here. This feels like it's still holding this 9 moving average. Okay, guys. Well, I'm gonna. This is a Canadian holiday, actually. So I am, as I mentioned, the other mods. I'm going to be. I've got a fishing trip booked, and
Nice.
so I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to cut out of here early this morning. So yeah, it wasn't the easiest trading day this morning, but yeah, this lucky catch on AHPI was kind of made my day. There were lots of opportunities, just didn't didn't catch FU to you. Mostly we'll be doing, I think that these guys just mostly do bottom fishing. So kind of rockfish. I'm probably throwing some traps in the water, looking for some prawns.
That'll work.
Yeah. So, yeah. Have a, like I said, hopefully maybe Jared will jump on, or one of the other mods will jump on with you, and we'll catch everyone tomorrow. Have a great day, guys.
Have a great one.
It's
We'll talk to you later,
beavers,
man.
yeah. Okay, cheers. Thanks, Thor.
You bet. All right. Well, have a great fishing trip, Brian. Hopefully, your prophetic ability also works on where to place prawn traps.
Yeah.
You just say place one over here. Why? Don't argue with me. I knew it.
Yeah, I knew it. There you go.
So,
I knew it. Look at Neo. Neo's bouncing now. All right, guys. Have a good
920
one.
prawn trade. All right,
Yeah.
buddy.
Cheers.
Cheers. Right on. So what's going on, everybody? I'm flat on my positions right now. I'm actually looking at like some stocks like LI, XPEV, and Neo, just trying to gauge exactly what's going on them. Most of these stocks have very aggressive looking.
Uh-oh. I may have kicked Thor off. Whoops.
you did, but it's all good, man. It's all right. Let's get Thor back on. Thor, if you're listening, we'll get you back on in a sec, man. I'm actually gonna get you a new link, Thor. So hold on, don't hop back into that link. All right, we'll get Thor hooked up over here. Jared, how's your morning going today, man?
It's pretty good.
Good.
Little bit of an echo, so I'm just holding off on audio.
Make sure you mute the chat room. Our chat room. Make sure you mute that, and you should be good.
Okay. How about now?
I don't have an echo from you at all. Chat room.
Good.
Is Jared sounding good to you guys? All right, 6.
Good to go.
All right, perfect. We'll get Thor back in here. Finish his thought there. Let's see here. All right, perfect. Thor got his link. He should be joining in a second here.
This is what happens when we don't prep someone for B-Mix on the first round. I just clicked the
No,
first
but you
link
did
that
pretty
I
good
saw.
though. You did pretty good. Not bad. Not bad. Wow, Neo is on fire. All right, so Thor, how's it going? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, perfect. What happened to Jared? Jared froze up and gave us a nice smile and left.
Reverse elbow.
Yeah, Jared's texting me on the other side. Yeah, you could stay on that link. You didn't have to change. I changed Thor to a different screen to actually the screen
Jared just
below.
wants to use the link I'm using.
He bumped you down, man. He wants to be on top. He wants to be in the top screen. It's okay. I get it.
Oh, fun. I like his theme.
All right, so Neo is just crushing it right now.
I'm not really frozen.
It's not Friday yet, man. It's not Friday.
Okay, sorry. It's oh wait, is it Monday? Oh, I
It's
thought it was
just
Friday.
Monday. We just got started.
My bad.
Thor, you were saying something right before we clipped you there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was the wisdom of how everything works, but unfortunately, I have now forgotten it.
Yep.
So just kidding.
You were just about to give the secrets out of trading, and because Jared,
All of them.
because
it was
Jared
all of them,
clipped you
man.
there, we will never know.
I think Jared got paid by the market makers to elbow me out before I could drop the knowledge. Man, AMD is like a rocket right now. Good volume right here.
AMD. Let's check here. AMD.
Big orders
Wow.
at 108.
Look at that. Yep.
higher.
Is the SPY moving? I see everything just kind of heading northeast. You know, SPY's not doing
SPY's
much.
Chop City right now.
Yeah. What's pushing all of this up here, man? AMD, Neo's moving up.
AMD's
Joe,
just
can
on
y'all hear
jet
me?
fuel.
Oh, there you go. You're
Hey,
back.
there he is.
All right, guys, I hop
All right.
off.
Yeah, I'm being cautious. I want to make sure I click the right link and
It's like in that
Okay.
case, I'm out.
So Thor, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, chat room, can you hear me?
Jada the Rad in the house.
All right, we're solid. Let's get back on track.
So now that we're all here, I'll be right back.
Awesome. I'll hold down the fort. All right, y'all. Yeah, so my morning has been pretty straightforward so far. Had my main stock, traded it, Tesla. Tesla's breaking out. Lots of good strength last week after earnings. Pretty clear pre-market. Lots of relative strength to the market. Not really seeing a reason yet to drop everything, but I have sized down on the move. So I'm mostly looking at this daily to see if there's a reason to consider some resistance. 724 is coming up, and that's where I'm looking to drop some shares. I'm also liking that the SPY recovered, and I'm liking that the Qs came off of previous day close twice. So far, I'm not really seeing a warning sign yet to drop the trade because we have a relative strength mover, markets holding, and on sell-offs, Tesla actually consolidated. So there's very little reason to drop the trade until something changes on Tesla specifically. That sound pretty good, Thor? You like that plan?
Yeah, I'm just looking at Tesla, man. That thing really did move today. I don't know. I was dialed in on the wrong spots today. I've got a few break evens, which kind of took me a little slow. I got a couple of drops off of Neo there on the short, but just nothing real solid. I was kind of just pointed in the wrong direction today, I think.
Gotcha. It happens.
It happens.
Yeah. And honestly, the watch list wasn't bad that you put together. I think I was so focused on the EV names. So if you had done like your Neo, your XPEV, those would have been some good
Yeah.
options. Square's hard because of earnings. It had moved a lot already, so I don't know what to expect after a big move post earnings.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened with me was I kind of got sidetracked by Square and I stopped out on it. I didn't really lose money on it, but then it started to run really fast and then I just kind of got enamored with watching where it was going. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, everything already moved while I was watching SQ move. So good job, me.
I do not know what happened with GE. There must have been some price adjustment. Yeah, there was a 1/8 split on GE. I had no idea that was occurring, so we probably didn't even mention it. Yeah, it's a reverse split. Yeah, so they must have been trading, I guess, in the low teens before this, and now they're right around 105. Didn't even know that was going on.
Hey, Chuck. So Chuck, listen to this, Jared. Chuck just said he kind of keeps making the same mistake in live. His first assumption is correct, but I keep getting scared out. Do you have any suggestions, or do you just need to build more confidence? So for me, I think confidence is the wrong word. I like to use the word conviction because I don't believe that Jared or I necessarily have any more confidence in any given trade or moment than anybody else does. But what we are using are systems that we have proven to ourselves work well, right? So we don't really have confidence. We just have conviction in the system that we're using that over time it will yield profits, whether we lose or win. Losing or winning not really being the objective, just really maintaining the system. So I would say what you're likely doing if you're having trouble with that is you're probably have a system, but you're trading it in a way that you're not feeling comfortable. Maybe your risk is too high at currently. Maybe your system isn't well enough defined, so you're not sure exactly what signals you need to use to get in or stop out. But I would focus less on your profit and focus more on your system. And that should hopefully help you gain the conviction you need to hold through the drawbacks, because there's really nothing worse. I would rather lose a trade and collect clean data from the loss of that trade rather than undermine the trade, miss a huge move, and then basically just tilt the rest of the day, because I'll be so frustrated that I undermined my trade. The loss is actually a more palatable thing for me to take, believe it or not. How about you, Jared? Where are you at on those?
Yeah, sorry, I was managing Tesla there.
Stop making money. We're busy.
I agree pretty heavily with that. There comes a time when you've seen, experienced, and have enough of sort of the in-seat time under you that a lot of this just becomes second nature. It revolves around the lessons learned, the experience that you've gained as a trader, along with building systems that are proven to work. Not every time will it work, and oftentimes the market will try and trick, trap, pull, and frustrate you as much as possible. But over time, once you sort of remove the wrinkles from your system, that's when you just see the bigger picture, the bigger movements, the larger players, and you try and focus on those much more than I would say the nuance of maybe chop, smaller ranges, smaller trading days in certain stocks. Find where the market's focused and try and join in. Find where the market really hates something and join into that negativity too, and look for the moment when it stops to catch the bounce. Those are going to be your big plays. Those are going to be the ones where you want to have high conviction, because not only do you know it's very likely to work, but when it does eventually work, that's when your risk or reward really shines, and how you manage it. So maybe a little bit to
Yeah,
add
and
there,
you
but
mentioned that they
covered
only
a
do
lot.
it live. They mentioned they only do it live. So this is kind of what I was talking about with, potentially you're using more risk than you feel comfortable palleting. If it works at $15 a trade, it'll work at $50 a trade. The only difference, and I'm talking risk factor, obviously, how much you'll lose. The only difference is how much risk you can tolerate individually. So if you're finding you're stopping out of your trades early, it may be prudent to leave some skin in the game. I wouldn't say go back to sim, but maybe drop to a more palatable risk factor. So if you're trading, $50 risk per loss now, maybe drop down to 25. You can quite easily make $100 and change a day on $25 risk per trade, once your system's really working out. But what I'm hearing, but when I see that is the thought that, and like I said before, if you're making those decisions that way, you're going to emotionally undermine your system. So your system works in sim because you're not emotional in sim. You're emotional when you go live, because real loss stinks. Fake loss is a video game, right? So it's just a completely different centers of your brain are being stimulated during those two events. So you must prepare for the live version. The difference between playing Daytona 500 at Dave and Buster's, rushing around the track, or getting in a NASCAR and driving at 250 miles per hour around a circular track while people try and check you into the wall. Yes, I used a NASCAR reference. But my point being is the adrenaline involved there and everything that's involved is so much higher you must be better prepared to deal with that challenge. So that's all I got.
All right, so Q's coming back to their sort of morning range. They never really set up a good range overall, but coming off of the daily close. SPY, it was a little wobbly there, but it tested that reaction point twice, and now I don't know if shorts are going to want to step in just yet, not until we get a little higher. So I'm kind of seeing least path of resistance right now is up. Financials are still really strong.
SPY's managed to crawl above 440.50. It's looking a little this we'll kind of get a interesting point here. I wonder what we do if we just keep chopping. I don't see a volume initiation at all. Ooh. Whoa.
Let's see. I was trying to see if there was any weakness outside of a couple of names selling off this morning. Like Facebook is kind of down. Google's relatively flat. I just don't know what was dragging the Qs down outside of just some selling in the NASDAQ. Oh yeah, AMD is ripping again. Okay.
AMD's ladder still looks pretty bullish.
Yeah, we're at R3 on the day.
This stock is just nuts right now.
Yeah.
You remember like a couple years ago when Roku was like, we just went nuts for, I think it was like 2 months straight or something. You could basically just buy the open and just not sell. And you would make money by the end of the day, every single day. It just didn't matter. I feel like AMD is like that right now. Like since VWAP at 85, this thing's just been on a straight tear.
Yeah, I don't like shorting weekly breakouts at all-time highs. There's something to be said about the market is giving you some very clear breakout signals. I'm not trying to fade for a few cents here and there. I'm going in the direction. That's a big breakout.
Yeah, I mean, even if it does drop, how much can you reasonably expect? To get if you even short.
It's just a pullback in the larger scheme of things. So. And another thing to kind of mention is like when you think about ranges on AMD, I know earnings is the reason for the breakout, but we came off of 73 and we're breaking 100. So if you want to just say a good doubling of that range and give it a target of 125 before I'm looking for a short. These ranges matter because they dictate where the balance was before, and now the excess is going to extend us. You can also look at fibs. You can look at an extension, like a 161 extension, to maybe think about a short. But until that happens, stay out of its way. Intraday swing doesn't matter. Stay out of its way. Let it tell you that it wants to be a short. Let's see. All right, on YouTube, we normally, different traders trade throughout the day. A lot of the moderators try and take advantage of the morning volatility, but we have traders trading all day, different strategies.
Yeah, I
different,
personally trade all day.
yeah, like Thor has specific goals to hit. I have specific goals to hit. I either hit them and decide, or I stop trading at a certain time. Some people are different. They trade all day. As long as there's an opportunity.
Yeah, I have a mic time that I normally do from 1 to 2, so I'm generically at least analyzing charts from 1 to 2. But I often find some really nice after lunch trades when everyone's gotten their little New York pizza, little pastrami sandwich action maybe. Oh, here we go. Finally. All right, partial on LI that I have been holding for way too long down at the daily level. My goodness. I took LI short around like a little bit above pre-market high, and it's just been chopping. It really wasn't a great. I mean, I like the entry and the management, but the stock totally stalled after I got in. I thought I was going to get squeezed on it, so I'm happy it actually picked my direction.
It's actually the weakest of the names, so if you're gonna pick one, it's not too
Yeah,
bad.
I mean that's why I was looking at it, but it's really interesting how it kind of popped out of this weekly range, hit 35, and then started to fail. But we'll see what happens. I got my partial now, so I'm going to move to break even. This thing squeezed back to 35. I'm out.
Bonds are breaking out today as well. Bit of a flat top resistance on TLT. I don't know why financials are strong today, but that's kind of a counter correlated move. So that's interesting. We'll see if that continues throughout the week. Usually if the market's giving you mixed signals like that, it's telling you that the money flow is different from what is expected. That may be because we have a little bit of a false signal in one of the names. So I'm interested in that for August. Yeah, a little bit. Nothing crazy, but yeah, XLU has been moving higher. You want to think about XLU similar to bonds, but the yields are actually better in utilities. So if people want to go risk off, but they also want to have better yield along with maybe some equity appreciation that's a little bit more volatile, oftentimes they'll choose utilities. It's still risk off, but it's not the same marketplace and it doesn't have the same effects of other into other sectors. It's not like going to hurt financials if utilities are going up, but bonds will. Kind of interpreting whether I want to get back into Tesla with any size or if I just want to let what I have run.
You in on Tesla from the near the open?
Yeah, my full size entry was 699.90. Stop loss at the new low of day. First entry, first candle in the day.
That'll work.
Yeah. And then I added
Solid.
on the 945 candle pullback, which was right around VWAP or one of the moving averages. Didn't really matter.
Yeah, that
Buying
consolidation is beautiful.
Yeah. Market wasn't breaking down. It was at risk of breaking down, but I mean, I didn't see a reason not to add back. So I'm sitting very comfortable right now, which means I don't want to go too more risk on.
Right.
But the daily gap is attractive to me. So if we fill the daily gap, then I'll still be happy. It's kind of what I want.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean it's already up to R6 and hitting under the averages a little bit on the minute, but I mean, which is a pretty good run.
yeah,
I mean, you got a really nice run already. Beautimous.
beautiful, wonderful. All right, what else is moving today? We've got kind of looking across some of the entertainment slash video game names. A lot of them have earnings coming up. I don't really have a good ETF for it, but I know that there's a few that kind of hold those names in higher weightings. Seeing if we get any bullishness into earnings. I know Activision's kind of dampening the whole space right now. TTWO has a little bit of a gap up today. It's not too bad. All right, I'm watching Tesla at the 9 on the 5. I'm also watching the swing low before this last move, 717.30. Both are possible entry points. Yeah, Tesla, man. Tesla's already pushing off of the 9 EMA on the 5. That was a big impulsive push right there. I think I'll take that on any pullback and just risk a new low being made at 719. Market's still holding up okay, kind of. What gap are you looking at? Neo's already filled the gap. So do I think Neo will continue as long as Tesla's continuing? Probably. But I don't see a gap anymore. I mean, the gap's filled.
Well, Jared, I think I'm about taking all the fun I can take for the morning, so I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it for the day. Just wanted to get a little shout out to our peeps in YouTube Landia. Thanks for hanging out with us and doing a little trading today. If you got a chance, toss us a little like. We appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll see you guys all on tomorrow. And then everyone in the BBT chat room, I will see all of you on at 1 p.m. During mic time. So I hope everyone has a good one. Jared, good stuff on Tesla today, brother.
Awesome. Take it easy, Thor. Have a good rest of your day.
All right, you too, brother.
I'll probably take that cue and go ahead and say we'll go ahead and sign off here. I was able to kind of give some comments for everybody and liking what we're seeing so far into the month of August. Still got some analysis to do, and we'll see how the day closes, but not getting a ton of downside just yet in the market. So still in a balanced zone. Thor kind of mentioned how SPY's a little squashed in that area. We'll see if there's a reason for this market to keep going up moving into August. So with that, y'all trade safe, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. And thanks as always for the comments and kind words. Appreciate it.